Video time. You ready? We're gonna make a video. Game face, ready? We're gonna make a video? All right. Back at it, 1 video a day, every day for 30 days. Today's question comes from my Patreon supporter who has hands down donated more to my cause than any other Patreon supporter out there. Drum roll, please. Rich Barron, AKA my dad. And I'm sorry to my other Patreon supporters, but this guy's question takes precedent because he has literally provided me with nearly 2 decades of food and shelter. Anywho, here's his question. What's the deal with late night snacking? Should you stop eating before 8 p.m. if you're trying to get in shape? Well, Dad, you bet you should. Or shouldn't. And now it's time for everyone's favorite answer. It depends. So it is true, like stop eating before 8 p.m. That's generally a pretty good fitness tip because there is a real correlation between snacking late at night and having an elevated BMI. It's a correlation. But as we've talked about in recent videos, correlation does not always equal causation. We simply can't attribute excess body fat storage to late night snacking alone without really isolating the 2 variables. And lucky for us, these 2 variables have been isolated before in scientific studies. And it turns out when calories are controlled, recommendations to reduce evening intake for weight loss cannot be substantiated by clinical evidence. And what they determined in this meta-analysis was that if calories are the same, timing doesn't really matter. The only way to gain weight is to eat more calories than you burn. The only way to lose weight is to burn more calories than you eat. You can't break the laws of thermodynamics. You can't break them at 8 a.m. You can't break them at 8 p.m. This apple at 8 a.m. is still this apple at 8 p.m. It has the same amount of calories. My body doesn't care what time of day it is. And I can hear someone out there watching this video screaming inside. I can hear them. But Chase, insulin is higher in the evening, and that'll make those calories turn right into fat. That's what my cousin Brett told me, and he has no background in nutrition, but he did stop snacking before bed and he lost 10 pounds, so Brett is my new health guru. Okay. First, unless you have some underlying illness or predisposition, increased insulin levels do not cause you to gain more body fat. It is true that one function of insulin is fat storage, but just the presence of insulin does not mean that you're storing more fat from the calories that you're consuming. So is Brett a diabetic? No? Then guess what? Brett lost weight cutting out his late night snacks not because of the insulin, but because without the late night snacks, he was eating less overall calories and he put himself in a calorie deficit. It's not the insulin, because your insulin response with your evening snack is the same as your insulin response with your dinner, which is the same as the insulin response with your lunch, which is a little different than the insulin response with your breakfast, because with breakfast you are, cut that word in 2, breaking a fast. That's true. When you break a fast, your insulin response is a little lower. So anytime you go for an extended period of time without eating and then you eat, insulin's gonna react a little different in your body. But even then, this difference in insulin doesn't even matter as far as body fat storage is concerned. Now, your insulin response might affect how you feel, which might affect how much you move, which might affect how many calories you burn, and therefore affect your overall net energy balance throughout the day. But even at the end of the day, all things considered, insulin thrown into the mix, it's not the insulin. It's the total daily energy expenditure versus the total daily energy consumed, calories in versus calories out. So Chase, you might be right about the insulin, but Brett also said that my metabolism slows down while I sleep, so that's what's causing me to gain the weight. I'm eating this food and my metabolism has nothing to do with it. I'm not burning calories while I sleep, right? Shut up, Brett! You are still burning calories while you sleep. Your metabolism doesn't change, and even if it did, acute changes in your metabolism aren't what matters. It's the overall net energy balance, the overall calories in, calories out on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. These little acute changes, looking at these tiny, minute variables isn't what determines your body composition. It's the long run. Zoom out, Brett. While you sleep, your metabolism doesn't really change. Your body is still doing stuff. Your organs are functioning, your body tissues are repairing, your heart is beating, the blood is flowing, the dreams are dreaming. Overnight metabolic rate and BMR are equivalent. And like I said, even if they weren't equivalent, these little transient changes in your metabolism wouldn't matter. It's the overall net calories burned through movement, through metabolism, through non-exercise activity, thermogenesis. It's all of these calories burned versus all of the calories consumed, eaten, drank, put down the food hole, whatever. And I get it, you're not moving and burning exercise calories while you're asleep, but even if you sleep for 8 hours a night, that's only 8 hours. 8 hours does not not determine your body composition. It's the overall net energy balance. Energy balance is not immediate. It's forever. Stop looking at a tree and calling it the forest. Okay, Chase, I'm buying it. Brett might have been wrong about the late night snacking, but what about late night carbs? And not only Brett, but even my Aunt Susie. She's a real nice lady. She's lost a lot of weight cutting out those evening carbs. It's gotta be the carbs. She said carbs are the devil's work and she's a religious woman. I don't care what a wonderful woman Aunt Susie is, but it is not the carbs, it's the calories. What do you want? I'm getting so worked up, Mabel had to bail. But I'm sorry, Susie. I'm sure you're a sweet lady, but you are wrong, girl. You're missing the forest for the trees. It's not the insulin. It's not your metabolism. It's not the carbs. An apple at 8 a.m. is an apple at 8 p.m. Your metabolism at 8 a.m. is your metabolism at 8 p.m. The law of thermodynamics at 8 a.m. is the law of thermodynamics at 8 p.m. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. And here's the M. Night Shyamalan plot twist that we've all been waiting for, because somehow, maybe by sheer magic, this apple in my hand is an apple at 8 a.m. But at 8 p.m. it's a beer. And another beer. And some Doritos.
And it, some ice cream too.
8 p.m. isn't the problem. It's the big calorie surplus that you're putting yourself into at 8 p.m. that's the real problem. You're turning your net energy balance into a big net energy surplus right at the end of the day. You, dear listener, if you ate all this stuff at 8 a.m. and you ate this apple at 8 p.m., it'd be the same. It'd be the same total daily calories in. Your body doesn't care, thermodynamics doesn't care, but you care, and that's why you don't eat all this stuff at 8 a.m. and you opt for the apple. Because if you ate all this stuff at 8 a.m., you know you'd feel like poop. And you know that you don't want to feel like poop. So let's get this stuff out of the way and get down to business. Willpower is a limited resource. We burn through it throughout the day. I mean, look at your food choices. How do they look from the beginning of the day to the end of the day? And this is why a lot of people find success on their fitness journey when they decide to stop eating after 7 or 8 p.m. because the food choices they make after 7 or 8 p.m. are pretty bad. I eat after 8 p.m. quite often and I'm still perfectly fine and healthy. And so do some of my fitness clients. They eat late at night and they're actually building muscle and burning body fat. What's going on here? Well, they're making good food choices. They understand how things work. They're budgeting for these late night calories in their overall daily energy intake. Furthermore, there's a lot of good research out there that having some slow digesting protein before bed is actually optimal for building muscle mass. And I'm not saying that you should have 10 chicken breasts before bed so you can get big and bulky. I'm saying that you should maybe have some Greek yogurt or some cottage cheese or another slow digesting protein. And in the long run, that'll help you build and sustain lean muscle mass so you look toned, so that your metabolism speeds up, and so that you ultimately burn more calories every day in the long run. So for some people, eating before bed is a good choice and can actually make you burn more calories, but this isn't everybody. This is few people. So here's my recommendation. Be honest with yourself. If you can't settle for a low calorie, high protein snack before bed, if it always turns into the beers and the Doritos and the ice cream, then maybe you shouldn't eat after dinner. Maybe you should cut yourself off after 6, 7, 8 p.m., whatever's comfortable for you. And granted, you don't want to go to bed hungry because that might screw up your sleep and make you tired the next day and therefore affect your energy out. But if you can have yourself a healthy, reasonable treat, if you can budget it into your daily energy intake, you're gonna be totally fine. And if you want those little bonus points that might help you out in the long run, I would highly suggest making this a slow digesting protein like Greek yogurt or cottage cheese. And don't forget to zhuzh it up with some berries or whatever you want to zhuzh it up with. You're the master of your zhuzh. But other good options are just generally low calorie snacks, so like popcorn, fruit and vegetables with a low calorie dip. I like to make my own high protein ranch dressing. I'll link a video that has that in the description below. I'll also link a video below of my DIY Nutella recipe that's super high protein and low calorie if you want to try that out. But that video is coming out tomorrow, so give me 24 hours and then you'll have it. So try to make those evening snacks high protein, low calorie, nice and satiating. Just try not to eat anything that interferes with your sleep. And this is generally stuff that is like spicy, stuff that makes you gassy, stuff that gives you heartburn, anything with caffeine in it, or surprisingly anything that's super watery, like watermelon or celery or loading up on seltzer water, because you're gonna be getting up to pee all night and that's gonna ruin your sleep. And having just a few bad sleeps won't inherently make you gain body fat, but it will affect how you feel, and that'll affect how you move, and that'll affect how much energy you export, and that'll affect calories out for the day. It's the net energy balance. You see, it's all connected, and calories aren't the only thing that matters because they're covered up by a million different things. But beneath all these layers, beneath this giant matrix of health, there is an energy flow, and this energy flow just happens to be measured in units that we call calories. At the center of this body composition matrix, there are calories. Just like at the center of this apple, there is a core containing the same amount of calories at 8 p.m. that it contains at 8 a.m. That's all, folks. And that's all, folks. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for the video suggestion, Dad. And I'm making a video a day, every day for 30 days. So until tomorrow, get out there, try out some cottage cheese and Greek yogurt tonight, but don't forget to zhuzh it the up. Only you can zhuzh up your yogurt. So what's your favorite late night snack, and how do you like to zhuzh it up? Let me know in the comments below, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.